What's poppin', baby? Welcome back to Cheap Seats Podcast. I am back from my cruise. I had a couple weeks off. 2 out of the last 4 weeks I've not been here, but I am so hyped to start talking sports. Well, my man, the Prince of Production, Kyle Edwards. How you feeling tonight, Kyle?
You're muted, man.
And he's on mute. He's not even that hype. He's on mute.
I know I was gonna do it to myself. My fault, guys. My fault.
You call him the Prince of Production, and he can't even produce.
I made a mistake like that. You know, it is what it is. But I'm happy to be here again. Glad that you're back. So I'm ready for another great show.
And then I got the most entertaining man on the show, the guy that has the biggest fan base in the entire audience, my man Big J, JJL Experience. Jordan Jean Lewis rocking the gold chain with the cross on it. How you feeling tonight, Jordan?
Doing good, man. I don't know about the biggest fan favorite. That could be arguable. I think you are probably the fan favorite because you're the sports genius, the football genius. But hey, I'm doing great,
Let me get my damn introductions, bro. Don't be like, don't argue with my. If I say you're the favorite, you're the goddamn favorite.
All right, final. All right, it's final.
You're my favorite. You're my favorite,
hey,
Jordan.
Much love, man.
All
good, Kyle, man. I'm doing good, man. Fantasy football is still in effect. It's crazy, man. MLB coming around the corner.
Bro, speaking of MLB, we gotta incorporate that a little bit in the show. This is just NBA and NFL right now, but
I mean, it could be
MLB. Yeah, we could definitely work it in.
Eventually. But we got some barbershop talk today. We have some questions today. We have some fire to start with today. And I spun my magic roulette wheel and it landed on Kyle Edwards. Kyle, I want you to start us off on what is the first topic on the Cheap Seats podcast.
All right, so for me, Jaylen Brown recently made some comments about toxic fans and all that, which we know really problem with a lot of athletes today. So my question was, is social media basically the main reason for all of these, wannabe tough guys who, spew their crap behind their keyboard?
I have a very strong opinion on this.
I mean, I do too. But
all right, so I want to hear yours first because I'm hoping it differs with mine.
You want to hear mine first or Kyle's?
Yeah, I want to hear yours. Okay. I hope it differs from mine.
Yes, so I mean, when we think about the OGs, back in the day, there was no social media, right? Well, probably the most recent player fan encounter that really didn't really have phones was the Mouse of the Palace, right? And that wasn't really the player; it was more of the fans. The dude threw a water bottle at one of the players. I think it was at the time it was medical. It was on test and it was medical peace. So
he punched the wrong dude. We never talked about that. He punched the wrong guy. That wasn't the guy that threw the water.
Well, yeah. Well, he didn't know who threw it. So
he just walked up there and punched the
He was trying to hold his water up like it wasn't me.
But I mean, that was the kind of the first. That's why now you see that's probably the only reason why we see security, surrounding the courts because of that. But I think that social media has had a negative impact. Think about it. These players put their body on the line, and we are hardworking, citizens, right? And why would you waste a courtside ticket price to cut out a player? I know he's your idol, maybe he's your enemy, you don't like him, but why would you waste money on a ticket when you're gonna cuss the fan out, call him Westbrook? Players are sensitive, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, why risk that when you can just, chill out, maybe have a couple beers, but some people can't hold their liquor at the stadium. So it's I mean, I don't know. Jaylen Brown does have a point. I mean, it's toxic. I mean, that's just how social media, everyone's going to have their opinions on certain things. Some players in the NBA can take it, but some players, Westbrook, have walked to the guy, or like a Isaiah Thomas, So I feel like social media has had an impact on that aspect, and it's made there's certain cities that you don't want to have, like Boston. Their fan base is New York, even the Yankees fan base.
Getting off the rails, my guy. You're getting off the rails.
I'm just saying, this crowd, yeah, it does.
Your answer is yes, that social media has had a negative impact.
Yes.
All right, so Jordan, I am going to completely disagree with you. All right, so let me just be clear, and I'm glad AC's in the chat. I'm glad Cool's in the chat, because I want to preface what I'm about to say by saying, when it becomes an attack on someone's family member that's in the crowd, or they say something like specific about a person's family, like situation, like your wife or your daughter or whatever, that, if I'm being honest with you, I'm 37 years old. When I went to games when I was a kid, I think it was worse at games when I was a child than it was. But the question isn't about the fans at the game. The question's about social media. Right? Am I correct, Kyle?
I think it's a little bit of
both. More or less. I was just saying, you can kind of probably work all that into the social media aspect of it. But yeah, it was basically geared towards social media, yes.
Okay, so the question's about social media and has had a negative impact. I think the sissified world has had a negative impact on what's happened in the sports environment. Let me break it down for you. I'm gonna get a little bit deep here, right? I think if I got paid $35 million a year to play basketball or football, that I would have the best earmuffs that you could have to that. I just believe that. Like, why do you care what the guy that's spending $400 in the stand says? Why are you on Twitter? Stop arguing with these idiots. They're idiots. Yes, they're trolls on the internet. I cannot take how soft today's athletes become. Let me give you an example. Westbrook. I want to go to a 76ers game when they're playing the Los Angeles Lakers, now he's not a Laker, when they're playing whoever, the Clippers.
Yeah.
Just to yell Westbrook, just to see if he'll punch me in the face. I want him to punch me in the face. I would take the $10 million or $5 million lawsuit. I would get out of it. I would smile with my chin like this. I wouldn't care one bit. You're worried about Westbrook? Are you kidding me? First of all, and you brought up Boston. Boston's a great example because Boston's a very, and Kyle, I'm sorry, but this is a very racist society.
Racist, yeah.
Very racist society. I don't think that what is said today at the game is worse than what was said in the 80s and the 70s. I think what was said at the games in the 70s, 80s, and 90s was way worse than what gets tolerated with today, because today's star speaks up against it and has an issue with it. But I'm going to take it a step further. Kevin Durant being second, third, fourth best superstar on the planet, for him to have burner accounts to argue with fans just proves my point. I just think there's too many soft athletes, and I think, and I'm going to get labeled a hater. I hope Freddie's not in the chat, but I think it starts with LeBron James, the Queen himself. I think that he has started the trend of being a soft athlete.
But didn't he get attacked? Did Sammy get attacked? Or in LA, his home got vandalized?
Okay, so that stuff is uncalled for, and that's happened since the 60s. That's happened to Bill Russell in Boston. Ask Kyle. Mm-hmm. But the point I'm trying to make is, do you think Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan was ever worried about what a fan said to him? I'm serious. Do you ever remember them getting into it or jousting with fans over comments?
Oh, no. Because it really
I think that today's NBA is soft. And I think that you look at the superstars and you see it in the whining. The Luka whining and crying. The LeBron whining and crying. It happens too much. I don't think social media is the problem. And guess what? If it wasn't for social media, these guys would still be getting paid $15 million a year. instead of 35. Social media has blown the game up. Mm-hmm. So for anybody to think that social media is the problem for these athletes, I completely disagree with you. I think they're soft. If I made $35 million a year, Jordan, do you think I'd have a problem if someone said anything about me?
No, but I mean,
Thomas situation that you talked about was totally different. They were harassing his mother in the crowd. That's totally different. If my mom's there to see me, I don't care who the situation is. I will go up in the crowd and I will handle that situation. It's my mother. It's my family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying where I do see it's a little bit of like gray area in your statement. I'm just saying like there's a line between a player and a fan. You know, there's certain things where a player or a fan shouldn't do. I mean, you're there, especially courtside seat. I mean, you're there to watch the game. Yeah. Like Anthony said, you can cuss at a guy or whatever. Oh, LeBron, you effing suck, brother. Like, that's fine. But it's like there's a certain line where fans shouldn't cross. As a fan's perspective. And a player, if I'm making 15, 30 plus mil playing ball, I'm not gonna mind somebody but it's like if you're attacking me, if you're, like, well, I've seen it, but if player like touched me, like if I'm like on an inbound play, someone hit my leg or whatever, I'm like, yo, like get this fan out of here. Like, so there's a certain line. If you're playing that money too, and some of these people are maybe ticket holders, and they may get banned for a night or a stupid day. So I mean, I do agree with you, Gene, but there's a line where both parties have to not cross.
Yeah, but do you think it's gotten worse? Do you think so? I think, and the question that Kyle asked was social media. Like, I think fans have always acted a fool for 40 years, 50 years. I don't think that.
I just think it's new. Like when you compare the MJ era and LeBron in terms to phones, there was really no phones back in the day, so it was just verbal. Now everyone has a phone, so it's like everyone has their phone out, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing. A bad thing where it's like, hey, something bad happens on the court, you can record it, or something good happens, you can just put it for some clout or whatever.
Bro, I feel like I have a lottery ticket, and his name's Russell Westbrook, and if I get to go to a 76ers game, I am going to 100% walk up there and just be like, yeah, Westbrook, what are you going to do about it? Huh?
Yeah.
AC is correct, though. You could pay me $1 million and call me everything but a child of God. Just leave my family alone. Yeah. I agree with it.
Exactly. Yep. That's the line where you have to, not cross.
And cool is correct. I am offering my chin. I would love to get punched in the face by Russell Westbrook. He makes $45 million a year. I will take some of that. Thank you.
That's true. That's true.
What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, so for me, I feel like social media just kind of gives people a platform. I do agree with you, Gene. I feel like fan interaction with players has always been a thing since sports started. Fans go to the game, they either cheer for you or they're going to heckle you. Kind of like AC said, that comes with the territory of being an entertainer, athlete, anybody that's in the public eye, that comes with the territory. I do think what maybe is happening is, players now are more empowered to speak their mind, but at certain times it kind of comes across as them being just more sensitive than players back in the day. Jordan used to read in the paper, people called him a drunk, a gambler, stuff like that. He didn't care. You could say something like that about certain players today, and they'll want to get you fired or something. Like, it's the worst thing that's happened to you. I don't think social media is the issue. Yes, social media just gives people other avenues to go at players, because anybody can sit on Twitter and be like, KD's a bum. Whether or not KD wants to seek that out and respond to it, that's on KD. I mean, KD could easily read it, put his phone down, go to sleep on his bed of millions, but like Gene said, he wants to use burner accounts to go at people. So I just think it's more of a sensitivity thing.
They asked him the other day if he had burner accounts still, and he said yes.
Which is crazy to me, because he understands what people already say about him. So does he think by keeping them open, the narrative on him is going to change, and he'll be like, oh, I'm so glad to like. I don't get it with some of these players. I don't.
Yo, put up AC's comment real quick. The one about Westbrook and the Queen. So I don't think they would, AC. I think I would handle it so perfectly. And if they did remove me from the stadium, I would sue the crap out of that stadium for my money back. I can go to a stadium and yell Westbrook. I can do that. That's it's not a profanity. I'm not cussing him out. I'm like, Westbrook, and he walks over. What'd you say? I said Westbrook. What you gonna do about it? And I'll stick my chin out. Go ahead, do something. I want my lottery ticket.
I mean, some of these fans aren't like the guy who called him Westbrook, and then he was like, "Oh, what do you say?" He was like, "Oh, Westbrook." Like some of these fans are kind of like cowards.
Yeah,
like
some people are scared of him. I'm not.
But Kyle, let me just reverse the question. Do you think that some players in certain markets are soft? Like say like a player in Boston. Do you think the market? Because some players are not meant for that market. You know.
That's fair. That's a great question.
I mean, those players will be gone.
Like Ben Simmons,
you can tell. Yeah, when Simmons went to Philly, who really thought that was going to work for him? And I also think what happens is a lot of times when it's certain cities or certain players, sports media will blow it out of proportion to make it seem worse than it actually is.
There's only 5 cities that are like that, though.
That's true. Yeah,
there's only 5 that have like ridiculous media markets that will destroy you. It's Philly, New York, Boston, Chicago, and LA. What other city has that media? I'm not like, hey, give me another one.
That's true. Maybe Texas. As far as you know,
so bait, bro. Yeah, listen.
Maybe Dallas Cowboy media like that.
I get involved with Dallas Cowboy media all the time because like they go on the 94 WIP and then 94 goes on theirs and they just kind of debate. But like they're so much softer.
Yeah,
they just are. It's only a few media, and it's really Philly, Boston, and New York. They're the 3 biggest ones in the world that are just like empowered to say whatever the hell they want to athletes. But there's not many that do that. Like Ben Simmons needed to be in a very small market team. You know, Ben Simmons would have been perfect for Charlotte. You know, like Ben Simmons would have fit in great in New Orleans. Utah would have loved Ben Simmons. Like, but Philadelphia, he just wouldn't shoot a 3-pointer. And it broke him. He's broken, bro. He's broken. I know we're not talking about specifically Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons is broken.
Yeah, he is.
When you got guys like Kyle Anderson telling you you're a min player, I don't know what to tell you at that point.
Yeah, that's wild,
right?
Yeah, that can go for all 3 sports: MLB, baseball, and football. Like if you like Zach Wilson, he got the end of the stick in New York. He couldn't even handle a meter right.
Definitely did not belong in New York. That GM really should lose his job for that. Joe Douglas is a great GM too, but like that's a huge mistake.
Like
you have to know. I'll tell you who would have been perfect for New York. He went number 10, Justin Fields. If the New York Jets could redo that draft and took Justin Fields number 2 overall, they would be a perennial Super Bowl contender and wouldn't be having to mortgage the farm for 2 years of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I completely
agree. True.
Yeah, because there's certain colleges that deal with professional level. Like if you're a Duke player, the hate you get on the road is unlike a lot of colleges. Ohio State's, school, Alabama now. Schools like that can handle larger markets, but a BYU kid, like, what kind of media is in Utah that you care about when you get to New York? You throw one incomplete pass, guys are just hurling all kinds of stuff at you, and he probably didn't know what to do with himself at that point.
Think about athletes that Philadelphia is broken. And not just Philly, New York, Boston, but like Carson Wentz, North Dakota State came in, was great. Everyone beloved him.
Yeah.
You want to talk about an athlete that's broken? What happened to 2018 Carson Wentz? And don't tell me ACL.
Right, because plenty of players are coming.
Watched Nick Foles win that Super Bowl on that team and watched a friggin' statue of Nick Foles put out in front of that stadium, and he was broken. He was mentally broken.
Yeah.
I think he needs a therapist more than anything. Not a football coach. He needs a therapist. Markelle Fultz. Tell me what happened to that guy. He got in a motorcycle accident, messed his shoulder up. He forgot how to shoot a jump shot. Did you watch? Did anybody watch Markel Fultz at Washington?
Yeah,
that kid was smooth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember ESPN used to have those videos of him like trying to remember to shoot, and his form was like always different.
Yeah,
and then people would come and be like, I don't know what he's doing. He's tinkering too much, and now it's like, I think he's gotten a little bit better since he's been in Orlando. But I mean,
bro, he was a sniper.
Mm-hmm.
He was compared to James Harden coming out of Washington.
Yeah,
I want you to think about that for a minute.
Yeah, that's true.
That's wild. But I will refuse to give fans the credence that social media is worse for athletes. Yeah, it might be worse for athletes. It might be more annoying, but you make an extra $10 million a year because of it. The revenue share of the NBA and the NFL because of things like social media. Think about the Amazon Prime deal. Think about Periscope with Twitter. You think about all that money that they get from all these different platforms. Say what you want. Makes them a lot more money. And if you cannot take that, if you can't take the heat, you don't belong in the kitchen. Professional athletes get paid a ton of money for a few reasons. And Jordan, you mentioned something earlier that I meant to touch on. You said a fan's job is to show up and watch the game, right? That's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I completely disagree with you. A player's job is to show up and play the game. A fan is paying for an experience at a stadium. Do I think that they should be verbally abusing the players? Absolutely not.
I think that they should be more respectful, because you're that's where I say emphasis on the line.
There's a line, and I in Philadelphia, there's a line, and there's a lot of Philadelphians that cross that line. But define more respectful. Do you think booing somebody is
no, the boo, like if you're like down, I don't know, if you're a team that's underperforming.
How about Bron, you suck? Bron, you suck. Is that too bad?
No, that's not bad at all. I'm just
too far.
When maybe that guy had a couple beers in the system, gets too crazy, and acts a fool.
Anthony said it perfectly. That's exactly both Anthony said it perfectly. There's a difference between trash talk and hate speech. But I'm going to ask you guys both a question, and the chat can answer too. Do you think the hate speech is more now, or do you think it was more in 1990, 1985, 1995? The hate speech.
Yeah, I feel like trash talk's always been there. I feel like hate speech has become.
I feel like that hate speech has moved towards the social media aspect side as far as people, because people are so scared to say that to your face, like call you the N-word in front of a black person, the N-word in person. They'd rather do it on a keyboard to a player. So I feel like that's more to your face. That's more relevant back in the day.
If I'm being real with you, I think Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it should be able to report a comment, and you should be able to search that IP address and expose that human being for who they are. If you say a racist comment on social media to a player, I think that someone should be able to report it to Twitter, and reporters should dox that human being. And I mean that. I think this is John Thompson. He lives in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Northeast section, and he works here.
Yeah, Anthony just said what I said due to social media. Imagine playing in Boston. Yeah.
Bro, Anthony, I've heard story on top of story about playing Boston in the 70s, and man, it's still not good. It's still not good. And Boston's still a city that you get a lot of really ridiculous comments that come out of, which is why it's very tough for them to lure big name free agents. They've struck it out on a lot of big name free agents. Thank God that their their past two GMs have been so good at what they've done to be able to get homegrown stars in town. The Tatums, the Browns.
So Kyle, is there a quote from Jaylen Brown on what he said exactly? Because I know you said it's toxic, but is there a quote or a statement from him?
He was basically alluding to the fan base in general isn't toxic, but he said there's like pockets in the fan base that can get really toxic with him in terms of like, I think he said something like his everyday life of, fans may come to him and say stuff that he may not feel okay with. So he wasn't like condemning the whole fan base, but just like every fan base, there's great fans in every city, but then there's the ones who want to take it too far to get the attention.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue. Some of that you can tie into society with, divisions that have been created from, other people, people picking sides and all like that. So, it is what it is.
Yo, two things. Anthony, that is 100% correct. And then throw up Cool's comment real quick. This right here is my biggest issue in life, right? In life.
Mm-hmm.
I play a game of Madden online. I'm going to give you a quick story and then we'll move on to the next question. I play a game of Madden online. I don't say a word. I don't even have my headset plugged in. Just playing online, right? You don't know who's on the other end of the screen.
Yeah.
Somebody scores a touchdown. Yeah, pussy. Fuck you, you bitch. This, and that. Like, this is not a joke, right? Like, that's what I get.
I've had that experience too, yeah.
And I'm like, bro. And like, even on Twitter, and it drives me nuts because some of these dudes I could see in real life. I had a dude, I used to associate with this one group, and this one dude on Twitter started yapping his mouth. I'm like, bro, I will see you at an Eagles game.
Wow.
Like, you can say all you want on the internet. I will see you in person. Like, you don't want that smoke. It's the same dude that faked that he was going up to Canada. To go fight somebody because of tough talk on the internet, taking pictures and dropping his wife off at the airport, pretending he was going to Canada. Get out of here, bro. People are clowns.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's the generation of Madden. I mean, I've had experiences where it's like, you beat me. I'm gonna get your IP address and come on, bro. Like, dude. Like, good luck.
Let's move on to question number 2. Kyle, pick one of us, me or Jordan.
Go Gene. Yeah, let's go Gene.
Right. So I love this question. I've been like, I ask this question all the time. And I want to know in NBA and NFL, just give me 2 or 3. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount of poverty franchises. And what I mean by a poverty franchise, I don't mean a poor franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example. I won't use them as one of my 2. The Los Angeles Chargers are a poverty franchise. Their owner is a cheapskate. They hold on to coaches too long because they don't want to pay out the remaining of the contract that they sign them to. It's a poverty franchise. They'll never be great because it's a bad ownership group. The Chicago, the Chicago Bears are a poverty franchise. Now, those are big name cities. I use them as an example because it doesn't have to be the small market towns that are poverty franchises. So maybe 2 or 3 NBA, 2 or 3 NFL. Of course you can, Anthony, but I think they're headed in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're headed in the right direction from being away from a poverty franchise, but they were for years. But give me 2 or 3 NBA, and then give me 2 or 3 NFL. We'll start with the NBA.
Can you do MLB too?
No. MLB has.
I would say Marlins, but
the MLB is loitered with poverty franchises. The
Oakland,
Pittsburgh Pirates, the Cincinnati Reds, the Oakland A's, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Miami Marlins. Just poverty on top of poverty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, the Oakland A's, I cannot wait till they move to Las Vegas.
I can't either because the stories about the stadium and all that, it's a joke that's a professional franchise.
Correct.
So,
and it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot to me. Like, man. But my man Dan Dempsey's putting the Dolphins out there. I think it's because of your owner, brother. I think you have a very bad owner. I think he's a bad human being. But that's just my personal opinion. But Kyle, start us off. Let's start in the NBA. Give me 2 or 3 NBA, and then I'll go to Jordan and myself, and then we'll go NFL.
Let's see. I mean,
I don't want to steal any of yours.
He kind of took, because I was going to go with the Hornets because that's a franchise that's. It's astonishing how many years they've been kind of just mired in mediocrity. You would think with an owner like Jordan there, attract free agents and all that, but they just always seem like a team that's a bunch of young players that's just going nowhere. So that would have been mine. So, but Anthony said it. His NFL one is an obvious one, Washington, but I mean, we can move past that one. I guess another one in the NBA would have been up until probably this year. I would have said Sacramento, because once the Weber age, Sacramento, it's been a long period of them doing nothing. And I understand, people say the Kings Arena is like in the middle of nowhere and all that, but I mean, hopefully they've kind of resurrected themselves with Mike Brown, who looks like he's brought something there. But I'd say Charlotte and Sacramento. Those would be my two for the NBA.
I got some really good ones that people are going to really look at me and be like, man, that's really interesting that you said that. But go ahead, Jordan.
So you said two in the NBA?
Two in the NBA.
So
2 or 3. It's whatever you
so
want.
my two. So I'll go 3. I'll go Indiana Pacers. Well, they are going to come up with, Tyrese Halliburton and those young stars. But Pistons, I mean, even though they're young and up and coming, they're still, irrelevant.
I don't think they're a poverty franchise. I think they've been bad for a while, but a poverty franchise to me doesn't always mean bad for a while. I'll explain to you what I mean in a second.
And then I was going to say, what was my other one? Oh, Washington.
Oh, the Wizards?
Yeah, the Wizards.
Yeah. That's a good one. It's a very good one.
I mean, they had the best probably backcourt with John Wall. Well, at the time, Bradley Beal, and they just couldn't figure each other out.
Wall was always hurt. That was a major problem.
Well, before he got hurt, they were good, and then boom, they just fell apart.
I got one that's going to make a lot of people mad. I think one of the biggest poverty franchises in the NBA is the New York Knicks. Let me explain what I think. James Dolan is a problem. I think James Dolan's always been a problem. I think he concerns himself way more with putting asses in seats than going over the luxury tax, going over just like trying to finagle the salary cap to pay without paying extra. I think the New York Knicks are a poverty franchise. They've been bad for 23 years. They haven't made it out of the first round or second round of playoffs since 1999. Do you realize how bad that is?
Yeah.
The New York Knicks
says they're the mecca of basketball. It's kind of tough to say that.
It's the ownership. James Dolan's a joke. What he did to listen.
The Charles Oakley's.
Yes, don't get me started on all that stuff because he's done so many crappy things. You're in the middle of Madison Square Garden. It's a draw. You make tons of money. You have celebrity fans. You have all the makings of being a Los Angeles Lakers of the East. You have all the makings of that. And by the way, that's embarrassing that we have to use New York as a Los Angeles Lakers of the East. But New York used to be the mecca of basketball, and such a awful owner. But I'll take it. Charlotte's easy, right? Like everyone's saying the Hornets. The Hornets, Michael Jordan, for as good of a basketball player he was, he is the worst general manager GM I've ever seen in my life. Every bad contract that team has had, like every contract that they signed has been a bad contract. Like when they're trading for Gordon Hayward, when they're maxing out Terry Rozier, like what are you doing? I can't with them. Every year they're drafting some tall white stiff out of Duke. A Plumlee's playing for them. They all stink, right? Like stop. Get yourself a stallion, a thoroughbred. Don't get yourself these big white stiffs that can't move. Get yourself
Zellers. They had both Zellers at one point.
Both Zellers.
I mean, LaMelo Ball, but he's injury prone, I guess. But he wasn't even all that.
So the Charlotte Hornets are an easy one. I'm gonna give you another one. How about the New Orleans Pelicans? For all the stars that they brought into that city to never be a winner, I want you to think about this real quick. Chris Paul started his career there.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis was there. Boogie Cousins was there.
Yep.
Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum. And they're still not a playoff team. Even with Davis dropping 40 and 10 a night. This was DeMarcus Cousins' prime. This was a time in basketball where I thought DeMarcus Cousins was a better player than Anthony Davis. when they both played for New Orleans. I truly believe that. Before his injuries, Boogie was Boogie. They're poverty franchise. They never do the right things. Everyone always wants out of that town. They never want to play there. Just a poor ownership group again. So I would go the Knicks, the Hornets, and then I got to end it with my man Dame Time in Portland. It's just they never can get the big free agent. They never want to fire a coach as fast as they need to. They always want to make the weird hire with Chauncey Billups as opposed to the right hire. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy because you lead into my next question.
Well, we gotta do NFL, but I'll leave.
Oh, damn. Okay, I gotta think.
I mean, the Chargers was a good one for the NFL.
Yeah, it's off the market. We can't take that.
There's 100 of them, bro. The NFL has 7, 8, maybe 9 poverty franchises. That's why I go third. I don't care.
Wait. So explain like poverty. Do you mean like current teams who don't sign those big players and they tank, or
teams that are always figuring out a way to screw up? Let me give you an example. The Houston Texans, there's rumors that they're going to take Anthony Richardson with the 2nd overall pick. That's why they're a poverty franchise.
Yeah. Okay.
They just traded Brandon Cooks for a 5th and 6th and signed Dalton Schultz to a 1-year, $8 million contract.
Oh, yeah.
They're a poverty franchise. They always make the wrong decisions. Always. And they're always not paying over the luxury tax. They're always not in the market to trade for a big-name player. They're always in a fight with a player that wants out of there, and they won't trade them. Like, it's always something.
Mm-hmm. All right, before I say this team, I want to say this team for the chat. What do you say Dallas Cowboys are a poverty franchise because they are the America's football team, right? And they had not been to a championship or a Super Bowl in what's his Emmitt Smith?
1996.
So they had Dak Prescott, great. They had a prime Ezekiel Elliott. He had that good year. They had CeeDee Lamb, some young talent, but I want to know what the chat thinks about that.
I don't agree as a poverty franchise, but I just think they're poorly ran. I think they always have one of the most talented rosters. They just make the wrong decisions at coach. They always choke in the big game. I wouldn't consider that poverty. Poverty to me is like the Washington Commanders, right? Like, yeah, we're going to have do me a favor, Jordan. Name me the greatest quarterback the Washington Washington program has ever had play for them.
Y'all going to laugh when I say this, but this is pre-injury RG3.
The answer is Joe Theismann.
Yeah. Or Doug
before
Williams.
my time, but I didn't.
Yeah.
That's my point. Who's the greatest quarterback to ever play for the Chicago Bears? I'll give you a hint. He plays for them right now. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, talent-wise, yeah, Fields is.
That's it.
Yeah.
All they have. Their best quarterback they ever had was Jake Cutler or Jim McMahon.
I was saying right? Jim McMahon was
terrible.
Yeah.
That's a poverty franchise. The Kaminsky Callis family does time and time again screws up everything that they do. Just look at the hire of Matt Eberflus when Brian Flores was in the building.
Yeah. Well, the team I was thinking about was the Lions.
Okay.
They are on the come up though, but yeah, they have been a poverty.
Taking so long for them to get.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's the franchise that had Barry Sanders and Megatron retire early instead of dealing with the mess over there. So that's about as poverty as it gets.
You're absolutely correct.
I was going to say the New York Jets, the New would say after the Giants, but Eli Manning after that. Danny Dimes comes in. Would y'all say that's a poverty?
Danny Dimes. Stop calling him the Vanilla Vic. Stop
Danny
calling
Crimes.
Danny Nichols. You're talking about a guy that's never thrown more.
But would y'all say the Giants are poverty franchise though?
He has less touchdown passes than games played.
I mean, I guess according to Freddie's gonna get his 1,400 rushing yards. I guess that's in Freddie's eyes. But I was gonna say the Jets. I mean, they've been kind of like that. They had Darrell Revis. They had
Anthony has one. The Colts are absolutely a poverty franchise right now.
If it wasn't for Peyton Manning error, the Colts would be one of the worst franchises ever. Peyton Manning made that error. And by the way, Anthony, this is so perfect, right? You want to talk about a player that completely changed the thoughts on a franchise. The Bengals are the most poverty franchise ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like the facilities rankings that they did, they ranked 32nd out of 32nd in facilities.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow, that's crazy.
Miami Dolphins.
Is that like a new stadium?
I think the Miami Dolphins thing, because they've spent money recently that people forget, but I think the Miami Dolphins are a very poor owner. He's just a terrible owner, not poor. He's rich, but he's a terrible owner, awful human being. The Bengals are such a good answer though, because Joe Burrow changed the thought process on them.
He did.
Don't get it twisted. You remember Carson Palmer and Marvin Lewis complaining about the facilities?
Mm-hmm.
I remember it.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm surprised no one has said the Ravens because Freddie has called us a poverty franchise. Because the way we're dealing with Lamar Jackson right now, we're kind of being cheap. I mean,
he changes football teams like he changes socks.
But I'm saying, he has doing that name now as being the poverty franchise. Do y'all agree with the Ravens, or because they have been dominant on the defensive side of the ball?
I don't agree at all.
I don't agree with that. No.
They have 2 Super Bowls in the last 25 years. They're constantly a playoff team. They have stability at head coach. They have above 500. They're first-class organization.
Well, I guess people are saying Pep is cheap because the way they're dealing with Lamar Jackson, they're not paying him, whatever.
Just people trying to be.
That's being smart. Jordan, if you're the general manager of the Baltimore Ravens, are you giving this man what he's asking for?
Wait, I was looking at the comments. My bad.
You said Ravens were first class when GM.
I said, what's your question?
Do you
give Lamar what he wants?
Give Lamar what he wants if you were the GM of the team.
I mean, if I was a Ravens, I'd probably play it like they're playing it right now. Let them test the market, and then see if we can spark a deal.
They want to be a good team.
I mean, we haven't made any moves yet as far as free agents. So
and that's why, because I think it's way more on your quarterback than it is on the franchise.
True. What other franchises? Falcons. When we say Falcons are a poverty franchise, Atlanta. I mean, they had Matt Ryan, Tony Gonzalez.
I don't look at Atlanta. Atlanta has one of the nicest stadiums in the NFL. They have a great facility. I just think they've been on poor luck recently. I don't necessarily look at them as a poverty franchise. They were 15, 20 years ago, but I don't think they are. Like the Saints used to be a poverty franchise, but Drew Brees changed that. Hurricane Katrina changed that. The Mercedes-Benz Superdome changed that.
I've been there. It is a beautiful stadium.
But it wasn't before. The old Superdome they used to have down there was terrible.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Seahawks, but Russell Wilson changed that.
Let's
they
get
have
on
Marshawn Lynch.
Question.
So I seen the comments, and then Gene said it too, like the Portland Trailblazers. So my question is, if y'all are on TikTok or Instagram and seeing the Dean Dog interview with JJ Redick, he said that with him being on Portland, he he thinks that the NBA, as far as talent and the ring ladder, is not the same as it was as in the NBA. Now people are want to win. The debate is with Jordan and MJ, or LeBron and MJ. Is how many rings. So his statement is like he doesn't like the whole ring chasing because it takes away the ability of like accolades and other other stats and stuff. So I want to hear y'all's opinion on Dame's aspect of how the NBA has.
What Dame basically said is he thinks rings are overvalued in a sense that what players' greatness is looked at.
So just like Keith's question to me yesterday, take out LeBron's 4 rings. and has his accolades, is still one of the greatest players of all time. I could ask that from MJ. Take the 6 rings, take the whatever. Is he the great player? Still the great player of all time?
I think the rings mean a lot more to MJ than they do to LeBron. If LeBron James didn't win any rings at all, he'd still be a top 10 player. But if Michael Jordan didn't win any rings, he would not be a top 10 player.
How many rounds? I don't know.
I really believe that. I don't mean to say this to be a smart ass when I say this, but I think there's some players that are judged more off their winning than they are off their accolades. Like finding a way to win, I think, is the most important thing in the game. I don't think rings are an overrated stat when you're the best player on a championship team. Let me give you an example. I think the part that made Jordan so great is once he won and found out how to win, he never lost again. You want to talk about since 19 when he first three-peated, his last 6 seasons with the Chicago Bulls, in which he played the full season, he won a championship. That's a dominance that you've never seen in the history of your life, and you never will ever again. His last 6 full seasons with the franchise, he won a championship. So I think that defines someone's dominance and their legacy. I also think this, right? If you look at Jimmy Butler's stats in the regular season, does that define him as a player? Would you rather? So, like, the question I'd ask you is, who would you rather have in a playoff series, Jimmy Butler or Jason Tatum? And if you say Jason Tatum, I'd invite you to go back and watch last year's Eastern Conference Final when Jimmy Butler was 1,000,000 times the better player than Jason Tatum was. 1,000,000 times the better player. The point is, some players don't play their best ball until the playoffs come around, and winning changes that, right? It's like when you can afford to lose a game in the regular season, you might not give everything you have. You might want to develop players on your team. So I don't think rings are valued enough, let alone being overvalued.
Yeah, Kyle, before you, I don't know how much time we have, but before you go, Kyle, I just want to read the quote from his aspect.
Okay.
So the NBA, this is from this quote from the podcast. The NBA, so the NBA I play in now is not the NBA I came into. I expected it to evolve. Everything is constantly changing, which is the world changes. But I feel like I play for the love of the game. I want the competition. I want to know what it feels like to win. I want to see my teammates do well. I want to see my teammates get paid. I enjoy the bonding part of it. We spend more time with each other than anybody. But now that don't count. Regular season doesn't count. Get a ring. This is the guy. This guy's the MVP. This guy did this. What is this? I don't want to make it about my situation. But I was talking after a game with a fan a week ago, and they were asking me, Dane, to win a ring. Bro, I don't need to prove to y'all that I want to win a ring. Why the hell do I play? I don't need to prove that to y'all. I understand that we play to win championships, and we all want to win a championship. But we can't keep acting like nothing matters, like journey doesn't matter. We can't keep doing that. There are so many ways the league is different. There are so many ways I think about it all the time, and I don't know if I can play.
How afraid do you get off the Sports Empire Network shit? Stop.
But
stop. For the love of God, stop.
Oh, that's Freddie.
Who else would it be?
But yeah, I mean,
you want to talk about slander? This man talks about LeBron James slander all the time. This man will slander Michael Jordan's name and never seen the guy play ever. Freddie's 26. Like, are you kidding me? I can't.
I mean, I can't. Yeah, I agree with you, Gene.
He feared the dream. Get the hell out of here, bro. And I want to answer Anthony Price's question real quick. Do you think if MJ didn't take 2 years off, he'd have won 8 rings? The answer to me would be no. I think he would have lost one of the 2 to Houston. Mm-hmm. I think that Houston team was incredible. I don't think MJ feared them at all. But I think they were incredible, and I think they would have definitely won a ring. I think that the Bulls would have no answer for what Hakeem Olajuwon did, because you remember their centers back then were oh, I didn't realize that. I don't know how you hopped into Sports Empire, but I don't realize it. To me, it's funny to me that.
Hold on,
I can't.
yo.
It just threw my whole
Hold on.
off.
Freddie, it might well hop on, man. Come
on. Freddie, we're talking about the fact that
so
Anthony. Sorry, there's Freddie. Sports Empire Network commented, some say MJ feared the dream in the Rockets. And I think that that's such baloney. I think his dad died, and he was in a lot of problems with a lot of gamblers. And he got away from the sport like he should have.
Mm-hmm.
But Luke Longley would have done nothing with the dream. I know you're trolling, Danny.
Bill Wellington. Yeah.
Bill Wellington. Oh. But no, I think that the Rockets would have won one of those. I don't think he would have won 8 straight, but I think he would have 7. I also think that if I forget the friggin' GM, God rest his soul, but he was an asshole. I think that if he wasn't the GM of the team and allowed that team to continue, they would have won another one.
What's his name?
The guy that credits himself,
Cruz or something like that. I forgot.
What did you say?
Was it something Cruz or something?
Jerry Krause.
Jerry Krause.
I think that he ruined that Bulls team. I would have did whatever it took to keep them together until they lost.
Mm-hmm. And Freddie has to. This is Freddie's question all the time.
So let me ask you a question, Freddie. How many would LeBron have gotten without Wade, Kyrie, Anthony Davis, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen? How many Hall of Famers can I mention? How many do you think he would have gotten without Kevin Love? I'm serious. How many would he have got? Like, to act like you could just do it all by yourself is not accurate. But yes, I don't know if he would have won any. If you switched out Scotty with a comparable player, I think that he would have won the same amount. I don't think that it was Scotty. Like, if you switch Scottie Pippen out with who would be a comparable forward around that time? Right, I'll give you one. If you switched Scottie Pippen out, I know he's not a forward, with KJ, Kevin Johnson in that era, I think he would have won 6 championships though.
KJ was nice. Yeah.
If you switched Scottie Pippen out with Charles Barkley, they win 6 championships though, right? If you switched him out with any top 100 player ever to play the game, he would have won 6 championships. I mean, you didn't need to see that one because he didn't hop teams, Freddie. He didn't change teams like you do football teams.
I mean, never mind. Because I'm going to be on TikTok if I say this, but never mind. I was going to say that. No, I mean, it wasn't. It's not as bad, but I was going to say that the reason why Jordan didn't really jump teams is because in that era of when they were playing, like, no one was beating the Bulls. I mean, yes, they had the Pistons in the conference. I mean, I'm not going to say the East was kind of soft, but like they had Ewing a little bit. I mean, you can say the same for LeBron when he was in the East. The East was kind of soft. LeBron owned the East. You know what I'm saying?
Jordan's East was not soft.
Yeah, Jordan's East.
I'm not saying they were. I'm just saying there was teams that, okay, what teams were knocking off the Bulls in that reign of championship reign? Like, let's be for real. When they had Pippen, Jordan, Rodman. I mean, who was knocking that team off? I mean,
Rodman wasn't good, bro.
He was a defender. He
could rebound and defend.
Yeah, that's what he was.
Rodman's Bruce Bowen. He's Draymond Green.
And he had a Phil Jackson as a coach. So
Phil Jackson was a nobody when he took that job.
Correct.
Phil Jackson was coaching in Puerto Rico.
Don't listen.
Yeah.
We're off topic again.
Don't let Freddie
just to go back to Jordan's question. So I do think
how do you feel about that quote I just read, like, about his side?
So I think with the ring culture, where I respect Dame is that if Dame just wants to be in Portland because he loves the community and all that, I think we should just leave him alone. All these people like Stephen A. who want to push certain players to situations to win a ring, I feel like that's become part of the ring culture issue where it's like, take Giannis. Giannis was in Milwaukee. When we heard he was about to be a free agent, Stephen A was the first one. He needs to go to South Beach if he wants to win. Why does he need to go there? Giannis was a great player. He was going through the process. Give him time. Look, he won it in Milwaukee, and now Milwaukee is seen as one of the best franchises in the league. We don't need to have everybody play with the Lakers or the Heat. And even though Stephen A, when it comes to the finals, will be like, I want to be in South Beach or LA, that's why he pushes everybody there, which I think is a joke to begin with. But let's say Portland finally pulls through and Dame wins a title there. You know how big that would be on Dame's resume? The way that Portland's been seen as a franchise that can't get it together. And if he's the one who turns that around, it's a special thing. Yes, LeBron was in Cleveland. If he had stayed in Cleveland his whole career, maybe people would look at him differently. I mean, he's still seen as a great, but maybe he'd be seen as greater. I don't know. But the fact he went to Miami, learned how to win, a lot of people hated on him for that. But you could say that was part of the ring chasing culture, that he understood if he got a ring, he'd be viewed differently to certain people. So if you, either way you choose how to do it, hey, if you're fine with that, then I'm cool with that. So I agree with Dame when he said, respecting the process, because like I said, if he wants
the journey that you got there,
I'm not going to push Dame out of Portland. He's loved in Portland. He clearly loves that city. Fine.
I criticize KD more than anybody on the show, Freddie. I criticize KD more than anybody on the show. He says, why don't you criticize KD? I criticized KD earlier in the show, maybe if you tuned in. And I did say, you know what Dennis Rodman was? A role player. He's Ron Artest. He's Draymond Green. He's Bruce Bowen. He's a good defender that rebounded the basketball. He had zero offensive game at all. People got, you know, modern day Dennis Rodman is?
Draymond Green.
Tucker. That's what he is. Don't lie to yourself and act like Dennis Rodman was a great player. The guy is known for the stat of 0 points, 22 rebounds, or 28 rebounds. He's known for that stat. The guy couldn't play a lick of offense. A lick. He was very wormy.
He was an elite rebounder.
And he played very good defense.
Freddie was calling you out, Kyle.
What?
I said he was calling you out.
So why don't you ever criticize KD? I jump on KD too. You just don't.
I've never criticized.
Every time people say Bron, you have a meter that goes off, and you're like, oh, I gotta get there and defend him. He's fine, bro. He's fine.
I mean, I do respect. Like, I respect Dame though, because like he is kind of taking that Jordan route, staying with one team. But it's like it can only get him so far. I mean, he had McCollum. Okay, cool. Maybe the second Splash Brother combination with second to Curry and Clay, but then he moved on to New Orleans. I get the journey, the part too, like how you get there, because everyone wants to, everyone who loves sports, their journey is to get to the NBA. Is it through high school out of high school or through college to the NBA? I mean, I get that, but I mean, I do give James a lot of respect because he had a chance to go to the Lakers. The Lakers wanted him, other teams wanted him, his services, but he wanted to stay loyal to the team. You can't fault him for that. But that can only get him that far, like Yusuf Nurkic can't get him a ring. Like, I mean, Nasir Little can't or whatever can get him a ring. I always butcher this dude's name, the point guard. After something.
Anthony Simons?
Anthony Simons, yes.
Oh, okay.
Gee, I told you I was gonna butcher his name. Anthony Simons.
Got me thinking about some random name. I was like,
nah. Anthony Simons, yeah. So it's like I do get him where he wants to stay loyal to one team, but it's like I don't know.
But we've seen other guys do it. Reggie Miller was loyal to the
I think he did in the quote. He was like, "Oh, when Tatum's career is done, Lewis's career is done, they're gonna talk about them than me." I'm like, I think he said that in the podcast.
Bro, I think people kid themselves. I think people kid themselves. I think Dame. Listen, I'm not trying to be a smartass when I say this. I love me some Damian Lillard. I'm a Damian Lillard fan.
I do.
Let me just stop and tell you he's one of the most overrated players in basketball. He is. Don't lie to yourself. Don't kid yourself that Damian Lillard is like one of those guys that he's not a top 10 player. I don't think he's ever been a top 10 player. Ever.
I mean, I have leaned towards overrated. I'm trying to think most overrated.
I say he's one of the most overrated players.
Okay.
Damian Lillard gets to jack up as many shots he wants, gets to have the offense ran around him in Portland, and gets to play the 7th seed every year and be happy about it and have the city of Portland be happy during the playoffs. And he's beloved, but don't get it twisted, bro. There's been talent that's come in and out of Portland. It's just he's never made it happen with them. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I love Damian Lillard. Don't make me attack the guy, but I'm not going to lie to you and tell you the guy's not overrated. He's overrated. He's super overrated. And back to the other comment about KD. KD pulled the softest move I've ever seen by a superstar ever. He's up 3-1 on a team and goes and joins them. Mm-hmm. Soft. You don't join a 73-9 team. That's soft. I don't even put KD in the same category as LeBron James. Not in the same category. But that's not for here or here. Listen, Anthony, AC, you can call me crazy, and we all love Dame. I love the way Dame plays, but I don't know, man. I just can't get on board with who he is. What answer? What question? What talent outside of CJ McCollum? Is that what he's asking?
I think that he's right for you, Gene.
Anthony Simons is a joke, I guess. Robert Covington's not a 3-and-D player. Yusuf Nurkic is in the top 10 center in the NBA. What are we talking about right now? He had CJ his whole career. Give me top talent. Give me top talent that was in around. I'm sorry. Give me top talent that was around Michael Jordan. That's not Scottie Pippen. I could do the same thing, right? Give me top talent around Karl Malone that wasn't John Stockton. We could say that. Give me top talent except one player. Yeah, when you're on the same team your whole career, you're probably going to have one good player around you. I disagree, AC. I think if you got him out of Portland,
tell me where you're sending him, what you're giving up for him, and what's going to be left there. Because most people, if they moved him out of Portland, have been move him to New York. Does Dame in New York mix the championship team?
I mean, would you rather take D'Angelo Russell or Dame Dollar on the Lakers? If you to choose, if both players are on the market, right?
I got.
You just said that.
For you. Jordan, I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna sound real wild. I think the team wins more games with D'Angelo Russell
than Dame.
Yes, D'Angelo Russell is an elite passer of the basketball. He can run an offense from the point guard position. Damian Lillard is a gunner.
Yeah, I mean, he has no choice but to gun in on the Portland.
Okay, but I watched him play in college too, and he was a gunner in college. So show me proof that he wasn't a gunner. Ever. Show me a time where he was just an elite ball handler, setting up players.
And has Portland ever really been they had LaMarcus Aldridge, they had Brandon Roy, have they ever really been a good franchise as far as talent?
LaMarcus Aldridge is a pretty good player.
Oh yeah, I said besides LaMarcus Aldridge.
But don't tell that to Freddie. He'll ignore the fact that LaMarcus Aldridge was on that team. He wasn't good.
Freddie loves saying your name, Gene. I don't know why.
Yeah, that was prime Bron, though, Anthony. Prime Bron. This is not prime Bron. This is 38-year-old Bron that doesn't play defense. That's I need 2 minutes. I'm sorry. I need 2 minutes, and I'll stop. This is the problem with LeBron James that I can never get out in the friggin' chat. LeBron James is the second greatest basketball player ever to play the game. Once again, Freddie has hijacked the show, talking about LeBron being the GOAT. LeBron James is the second greatest basketball player ever to play the game. His career is unbelievable. At this point in his career, he plays statue defense. A chair would play better defense than I put a traffic cone out there. It would play better defense than LeBron James plays right now. He whiffs at players. He doesn't switch. He stands around on the defensive end. I'm not lying. This is not a lie, and that's the problem. Prime LeBron James could have took anybody to the finals. He was one of the greatest players ever to play the game. But a friggin' traffic cone plays better defense than LeBron James does right now. And that's the problem. And Lakers fans don't want to admit that because that's their king. He's 38. He's a phenomenal player. Now, prime 30-year-old Dame, they go to the finals. Because prime 30-year-old Bron could have took Jordan to the finals. And I'm not talking about Michael Jordan. I'm talking about Jordan G. Lewis. Prime LeBron could have took anyone to the finals. He was incredible. One of the best I've ever seen play the game. Yes, there are a lot of stars that don't play defense, not championship ones. He stopped playing defense. He's 38. He's hurt every season.
I mean,
he hasn't played 60 games since he's been in a freaking Lakers uniform.
To rebuttal that little sentiment or comment like about LeBron, I mean, have you ever really Kyle, don't cock your head.
I'm ready to see where this is going. Go ahead, Drew.
Don't cock your head. They're like, oh shit. Anyways, has to that little part of the Gene statement he just said, like, has LeBron really been known as like an elite defender?
Yes. Do you remember when Derrick Rose won the MVP?
Yeah.
Do you know LeBron James went up against him in the playoffs that year?
I did.
Do you know LeBron James stuck him every fourth quarter?
Didn't he hit that corner shot to advance him?
Did you know LeBron James stuck him every fourth quarter in those games? LeBron James switched to Derrick Rose to guard him for the fourth quarter. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
You know what his combined points were for all 5 games combined in the fourth quarter?
With Derrick Rose?
Yeah, in the fourth quarter.
I don't.
I got you. 4-2-0-2-2.
With 4 points, 2 points, what?
0, 2, and 2 in the fourth quarter. LeBron James was one of the best defenders I've ever watched play the game when he wanted to play defense. The problem is he's 38. He doesn't have it anymore. Don't lie to yourself. Lakers fans want to kid themselves to think they have a championship window.
I mean,
and they don't.
Brooke Lopez, that's what he's a big man. He's 7 foot.
Oh, it's a joke. He's saying that like Brooke Lopez is being as big and oafy as he is. Prime Bron was incredible.
I mean, come on, Freddie. Come on the show, man. Please.
Jordan. Do you really believe in your heart the Lakers will win a championship next 2 years?
Next 2 years?
Yes, this year, next year.
There's a chance, yes.
Do you believe in their heart that they could win a championship the next 2 years?
I do. Once
You're
they
delusional.
You're
delusional.
No, they are. Yeah.
You're delusional.
What's the path to them winning one in the next 2 years? Because one, you can't say if AD stays healthy, that ship sailed, and it looks like they may even move on from him.
Yeah. I mean, I knew
this was going to happen. I
was
knew
going to say that.
Every show we have, he hijacks talking about LeBron James. Every show.
What's up, Gene?
Because Jordan can't defend himself. So I would like you to try to defend himself.
What's up, Gene? What's up, gentlemen?
What's happening?
Listen here, Gene. I'm not going to just let you double team, triple team bully my Laker brother down there, Jordan. I'm not going to.
I'll destroy you. I'll do it every time you're on a show.
So, listen. First off, let me answer the question you just asked Jordan. We not done this year. I mean,
I'll give you 10-1 odds.
Turn your phone
let's
off.
just be honest.
I'll give you 10-1 odds.
Turn your phone off.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
We're looking at the West right now. It's a hot mess in the West right now. Like, we don't know who's gonna win. We thought Denver was.
It's not gonna be the Lakers.
Hey, we thought Denver was going to run away with it, but we seen they got flaws. They don't play defense. We don't know what's going on in Memphis. Memphis, they got issues. They got dealing with the Ja Morant. That's a hot mess. Sacramento Kings, it was nice to see you here. You've done something you haven't done in 20-something years. It was good to see that you're relevant, but you are young. You're wet behind the ears, got Similac on the breath. The Clippers.
All
good
you're
God.
doing is picking apart other teams.
Hold on.
I need you to give me a reason why the Lakers.
This is big. The Lakers are in 11th.
Listen.
Correction. They were 10th, brother.
Exactly.
Correction.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was rudely interrupted. I'm trying to explain the reason why we're going to.
Yeah, but I don't need you to break down every player in every team.
I'm coming up here. I'm coming up here to tell you why we win in the ring.
Okay.
Then the Clippers, we got rid of our problem.
That's a good pickup, John.
Westbrook. They have
Y'all
issues
were all
with
over Westbrook early in the season, though, but now he was a problem. Okay, keep going.
I've always said Russ was a problem, guy. Go pull up the receipts. Go pull them up.
When he was playing well off the bench, y'all was screaming out 6 man.
Boy, he didn't play well on the bench. Is that a lie?
According to Freddie, he was a problem, and y'all got rid of him.
Hey, okay. Kyle, even though I said he's coming out, he's playing good off the bench, I still said that he was a problem for that team. So don't act like
Change the name of the show. Change the name of the show. It's now Cheap Seats and Lakers Talk with Freddie. That's what it needs to be. Every week he cops on here to defend LeBron James with
Gene. I was watching the show that you started coming after me that I had to come over here to defend me. And he tried to double team on Jordan. I'm not gonna let that happen.
Well, you did call my Ravens team a poverty franchise.
Anthony, thank you, Anthony. The CEO put his foot down and hopped on the show to talk about LeBron James again.
So, like I said, this Laker team, this isn't the same Laker team before the trade. This is a completely different team. We have actual NBA players, Gene. We have guys that can shoot the basketball. We have guys that can defend. Did y'all see AR-15 on yesterday?
I did.
And you mean to tell me you put LeBron and you mix LeBron in there? Who can beat us? Name a team. Phoenix, please. They have no depth.
But we have them on Wednesday.
Phoenix will beat you in 4.
Who?
The Knicks.
Beat you in 4. If you're lucky enough to see a playoff series with Phoenix and Kevin Durant's playing, they will beat you in 4 games.
Kevin Durant's hurt.
None of them will be close.
They will not be 4.
LeBron's hurt.
He's coming back probably early than KD.
We're hoping he comes back.
No, it ain't no hoping. He's coming back. Watch next week.
I mean, he's also the LeBron post. He's in the tank.
This is a different team, Kyle. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This is a different team.
The whole team will be 3-7.
Yo, Essie's funny as hell, man.
The Sixers are 9-1 in their last 10. And if you think the Los Angeles Lakers, and you're bringing up the West, right? Denver would beat them in 4. Sacramento, I don't know. Memphis would beat them in 6. Phoenix would beat them in 4. The Clippers would beat them in 5.
Anthony said we played the Magic. With different team we had to beat,
Golden State would beat them in 4.
Gene, why do you know what, Gene? Listen, brother, I love you. Hey, if there's anybody in the sports world that I love me some Gene. Because Gene is a real good dude. He's very passionate. You're a passionate guy, my dude. You're a good person in life. But I'm gonna tell you this, Gene. There's some things that you say just to troll, just to aggravate me. Did you just say Golden State in 4? Do you realize that we beat Golden State without LeBron James twice with Anthony Davis?
Oh, he took off the glasses, man. Oh,
what
shit.
Are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro?
Freddie took off the glasses, man.
Different than playing in the regular season, Freddie.
What are you talking about? Golden State is folded. And yes, cool, I said y'all play no defense. That's been y'all problem with the last week or two.
Real quick, guys, we got to get back on topic. Fans are arguing and being very upset in the comments that we're consistently talking about.
The doctor to leave the office.
So, doctor, can I ask you a question real quick? I'll let you answer the question that we asked. Do you think that rings and are overrated or underrated stat right now?
I think they're underrated.
You think they're underrated? So I agree with you.
Yes. I definitely do.
So you disagree with Dame's comment?
Basically, yes.
I agree with you. We can agree there. I think that rings are completely an underrated stat. I don't think it's an overrated stat at all. I believe that there are great players that never won a ring, and you could talk about any sport. Dan Marino, greatest quarterback to never win a Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, winning championships matter. Tom Brady's stats on his own, he would barely be a top 10 quarterback if he didn't win 7 rings. He won 7 rings, which makes him the GOAT. Rings are an underrated stat, and I think the quarterbacks that win Super Bowls and NBA players that win championships can live on that.
But let's just be honest, Gene. Even when Tom Brady was playing, we've seen quarterbacks that if you just have the eye test that you say, okay, yeah, he's a better quarterback than Tom Brady. Tom Brady,
yep. Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, there's plenty of them.
Patrick Mahomes, we've seen it. I think the only person that we can't really, there's only 2 players that we can't say that while they was playing that there wasn't a better player than them. That's when Michael Jordan was playing. I don't believe nobody ever said, oh, he's better than Michael Jordan. No. and then LeBron. I mean, when them two playing, I don't think there was nobody else in the NBA that you could say that there was somebody else better than playing against them.
Agreed. They're the two best players in the world, but it's an exhaustive topic that no one's ever going to change their opinion on. I just try to give honest feedback in the chat, and I get called a LeBron hater when I'm not. I said he's the second greatest player to ever play the game.
I've got accused of changing this show. We're not starting that back up again.
Kyle, did you have a comment, sir? You raised your hand.
I said I get called a LeBron hater too.
It's just
I don't even say anything hateful.
It's hate. We're haters.
I like John's question. Is regular season MVP under or overrated?
It's super overrated because Jokic won 2 in a row.
I think it's overrated. Yeah.
I wish they would.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick. If you were starting an NBA franchise tomorrow, tell me the 5 players that you would start your franchise with. Starting tomorrow, if you're starting an NBA franchise. Who's the first player you'd pick? We'll all go one. I'll take Giannis too.
I was thinking one player each turn, I guess, or.
Well, I'll take first player. You're starting a franchise.
Who's your first player you're taking?
Can we use the same one? I don't want to use the same one y'all use.
You can use the same one. Starting a franchise, one player.
Who said what?
Because we're gonna go in second.
Gene said Giannis.
I'm gonna go John Morant.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Tatum.
You're starting a franchise with Tatum over Giannis?
He said Giannis, or I can't.
You can say Giannis.
No, Gene said you can say Giannis if you want to. Yeah.
All right, second player. Guys, get with the rotation. Second player. If I'm starting a franchise and Giannis is off the board, the second player I'm starting my franchise with is Luka Doncic. Kyle?
Yeah, I'd go Luka.
So I got a point guard. I need a shooting guard. I'm gonna go.
No. You're starting a franchise. First player you're picking is
well, Freddie's saying because he took John.
We're not doing it that way. We're asking if you were pick 2 in the NBA redraft and you were starting your franchise tomorrow and Giannis was off the board. For you, John Morant's off the board. Who would you take second?
Oh, I see what you're doing. I'll take Kevin Durant.
Durant, okay.
Yeah.
How about you?
So my first was Giannis and my second would be Tatum.
Okay. Third one. Watch how this works, guys. I'm not trying to be a smartass. Who's the third one?
I'd probably go, to be honest with you, I'd probably go Embiid.
Embiid? Okay. That's a bad pick, but okay. I'll tell you why in a second. He's got 2 years left. You're going to start a franchise with a guy's got 2 years left? That guy's got 2 years left in his career, in his knees and his back. I'm telling you. That guy's going to retire at 31. Don't mark my words. You can't start a franchise with him.
That is a good point. That's a good point.
You cannot start a franchise with him.
That's too late. He's off the board.
I know. No, I'm just saying. I already said it. Yeah, but that's the point. Yeah.
My third one would be Kevin Durant, even though he's getting old. But that'd be my third one.
I can't use Luka, can I?
Yeah, you can. You can use Luka.
I'm going Luka with my third pick.
Okay. Who you going with, Jordan?
I got Jokic.
My fourth one to start a franchise with would be Victor Wembanyama.
Come on, G.
What do you mean?
My fourth one would be probably Scooter, right? Number 2 after him.
Well, you don't have to do that. You can pick Victor.
No, because
I mean, pick an NBA player.
No, I've seen him.
You think Scoot Henderson's going to be a top 5 player in the NBA when he comes in? I think Victor Wembanyama is going to be the next Greek freak.
You know what? You guys. I really hate this, and this is because the last couple of years, the way we think of him has changed. I hate the way Kawhi Leonard's career has shaped out. Because
no, you don't. You love it. You bash him all the time. Call him street clothes. Don't lie to yourself.
You know what? Yeah, because you know what? Because people like you in the media always jump on Anthony Davis, always, but nobody ever think anything else about these other guys at street clothes.
I don't talk about Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard's not relevant. I don't talk about Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard is not relevant.
But guess what? I'm using him as the same standard as everybody else do in the media. Everybody found it.
So why don't we talk about John Wall?
Because he hasn't been relevant in years since he was in Washington.
That's my point. Kawhi Leonard's not been relevant since Toronto.
I disagree with that.
He hasn't been relevant.
No, he was relevant the first years in LA.
Yeah, until he got hurt, and then he hasn't been relevant.
City and all that. Weren't they saying that Jordan?
The kid, Keith with Kawhi, hell yeah.
But my point is this, right? None of you guys have said Joker yet. Kyle's the only one that said Embiid.
I said Joker.
I was the only one that said Embiid. None of you guys said Joker yet.
I said Joker.
Yeah, Jordan.
The third one.
You said Joker?
Yeah, and my fourth I said Scooter, but
my point being is MVP is an overrated stat because you could be the most valuable player in the regular season and get swept out of the first round of the playoffs like Jokic did the last 2 years.
Hey, John, I want to put Randall in that position because to me, Randall is a great star, like an all-star. He's not a superstar to me. He's a guy that he could probably be like your second option on a championship team. But Julius Randle isn't a number one option on a team that I can believe that can take you to the championship. To me, I believe when we've seen what Jalen Brunson has done to that Knicks franchise, a point guard that can help make it easier on Julius Randle. But I don't.
Don't you think big men need good point guards?
Yes and no.
Give me a good big man that doesn't need a good point guard.
Joker.
Okay, that's a good one. I agree with that. That's the only one I think.
Now Embiid.
The only one I think I can think of.
Now Embiid.
He needs a point guard.
Well, if he played like, hey, bro. Well, yeah, you're right. So let me ask you a question. Where do you take injury away? Okay, take injury away. Giannis is in that conversation. Anthony Davis is another guy that can bring the ball up. I'm just saying.
He said take injury. Bro, as soon as he said take injury away,
I knew he was talking about.
I knew he was talking about Anthony Davis.
Bro. I'm just saying take injury away.
I knew it.
We know AD can bring the ball. He was a point guard until he shot up in height. So he naturally has point guard instincts. Yes.
I'm just saying, bro.
Did you know that he's missing one part of his body? He's missing an entire limb. He's missing an organ in his body. Did you know that?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah. Anthony Davis is missing an organ in his body. That's probably why he's always hurt.
I know what you're talking about.
He's missing heart. He has none of it.
Ha ha ha.
No, I absolutely agree.
I mean, I thought you were serious.
That's where me and Jordan disagree on. Jordan defends AD. I agree. That's
Jordan will defend any player that plays for one of his teams.
Because I'm gonna tell you, Gene, that's why I was so pissed off at you the other day. Is that to me the Lakers have more of an AD problem than anything. That's why I was more.
Yes,
pissed
but
off,
AD is 30 years old. LeBron is a depreciating asset, Freddie. That's
and
the
AD's not.
You can't get. Doesn't matter if he is. Let me ask you a question. Okay, who has higher trade value, LeBron James or Anthony Davis?
I'm gonna say AD because he's younger.
Okay, that's fine. So, do you think LeBron James still has trade value now?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that the Lakers have a chance of winning a championship in the next 2 years? I'm done after this.
Yes, I do.
Okay, when do you think they'll win a championship?
I think they have a chance next year.
Next year. Do you want 10-1 odds?
It don't matter what odds.
I'll give you whatever odds you want. If LeBron James is still in the league, listen, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'll make you a straight bet, and you don't have to pay on your bets because you never do anyway. You owe me $200. I'm not kidding. I don't forget that. But I'll make you a straight bet. I'll bet you the $200 you owe me because you're never gonna pay me anyway. That the Lakers will not win a championship until after 2030.
Bro, come on, get out of here, bro.
But in 2030, I'm gonna collect my $400.
You don't believe that.
I swear to God, I do. Right hand of God.
Gene, so you think me and Jordan will go 6 years, 7 years?
Yes. You have no future. Who's the future of the Lakers?
I bet the Lakers will win a championship before the Celtics.
Who's the future of the Lakers, Freddie?
Gene, you do realize
who is the future of the Lakers, Freddie?
I mean, they were in the finals, lost to the finals.
You do realize that the Lakers have a chance to get a draft pick in the first round this year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They have the chance to get a draft pick in the first round.
You do realize that we have D'Angelo Russell, who's young.
So you think D'Angelo Russell is the future of your franchise?
I'm not saying future. He's a piece of the franchise.
Who's the future of your franchise?
Austin Reeves.
Okay, that's my point. Point proven.
AR-15. Hey, Jordan, would you take 35 a night?
I would.
He had a career high in points, and we're talking about 35 a night.
Because he had opportunity.
He had
LeBron's
a career
not
high
there.
in points, and now we're talking about 35 a night.
Once LeBron,
How ridiculous has this show gotten?
Once
This
LeBron
is
goes,
wild to me.
gee, once LeBron goes, all AR-15
How, as an unbiased third party,
The same AR-15 who wants $50 million for his next deal.
That's very.
Would you pay it to him?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I?
Can I tell you? I'll tell you. In 2 seasons in the NBA, Austin Reeves has averaged 7.3 points a game and 12 points a game. That's why I wouldn't pay him $50 million.
Because wasn't he riding the bench and he got the opportunity to start?
How many minutes do you think a starter plays a game, Jordan?
I mean, if you're a consistent player, probably 26, 30.
What do you think Austin Reeves is averaging this year?
Like 15.
28. You're welcome.
Oh wow! So
I don't like abusing people on this show, but I will.
Gene, see, that's your problem. And you brought this up in the Dennis Rodman debate on the show.
It's not a debate.
It's not always about offense.
So is Austin Reeves a Dennis Rodman-like defender?
Then Austin Reeves, his intangibles that he brings to this team, he makes all the right plays. He don't make mistakes. He played defense. He get guys involved. He scored when needs to. You had those numbers still up. What's his percentage from the field? Let's go.
45.9%.
What about a 3-point shot?
31%.
Nah.
This year, sorry. This year he's 38%. I apologize. They have it in 38% and 51% from the field.
That's improvement, brother. That's improvement. We just see Mark.
You know, also he doubled something else too this year over year. His turnovers per game, since he makes all the right plays though.
Hey, Gene, we see Markelle Fultz. The league was ready to write him off. Write him off.
Let's check his defense efficiency. Let's see where that's at.
Bring it up. Yeah, let's go. Numbers don't lie.
I agree. He's a minus 1.3 defensive replacement. So that means that your team wins 1.3 less games with him on the court versus an average defensive replacement.
That don't mean he's bad. He's solid.
He's below average.
Nah, I'll find the right numbers.
Of below average.
I'll find the right numbers and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
What? The 35 last night. That's the right number. All right.
Look, man. I don't mean to say this to be rude. I don't mean it to get off. I don't mean to be a jerk off when I say this. Dennis Rodman is Bruce Bowen, the same player,
but he still have value.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
he was in the league
Value.
that was his skill. Yeah.
Without him, those Bulls team will not win to go 6-0.
He only played for 3 of them, Freddie.
Okay, well, they won't go 3-0.
I can't with this kid. They won 3 championships before he got there.
But they won't. Those 3 they would not have won.
Who would they have lost to, Freddie?
They would have lost to Houston. I mean, they would have lost to. It don't matter who they would have lost to. But he was a big. See, what was Michael Jordan doing before Scottie Pippen?
Winning MVPs.
Getting bounced out the first round.
Barrett, what was LeBron James doing before he went to Miami? Getting bounced out in the first round, second round.
Wasn't he taking teams to finals?
He took one team to the finals. He got swept.
By Spurs.
Yeah, he took him there.
He got
the
worst Eastern Conference. That wasn't versus Bird and Isaiah. That was versus friggin' Dwight Howard and a bag of Fritos. Chauncey Billups. That's the team. He beat a friggin' aging Detroit Pistons team.
Yeah, he beat a Larry Bird with a bad back, bro. He played a Magic with Vlade Divac. Kareem wasn't even there.
Name somebody else who was on those Bulls teams when they were losing to Bird Celtics.
Name one other player.
Yeah, name somebody.
So stop it. I don't want to.
Kukoc.
Name one other player that was
Kukoc was not on that team.
What?
When he was losing to Bird and Isaiah
can't believe
Thomas.
that he just said Kukoc.
Name somebody else.
Jordan, get off the show.
Man, that's how the Bulls are so irrelevant now. Like they're a party franchise right now too.
Yes,
so.
that's not the point. Freddie, can you name another player?
Part of the question.
Al's got a great point. Can you name another player that played with LeBron, with Michael Jordan?
Yes, all I know is Michael
Yeah,
Jordan
name
the
him.
GOAT. If he was the GOAT, he should at least take it to the finals. We've seen LeBron do that many
Bro,
times.
he played against Isaiah and Bird.
But if
Not
he's
against,
the GOAT, he should better take care of business.
I'm done.
Your guy was the GOAT.
Freddie, how old are you?
What happened against Dallas?
Freddie, how old are you?
What happened against Dallas?
25.
What would your GOAT do against
25?
Dallas?
He wasn't my GOAT at the
How old are you?
time.
25?
Yeah.
Who was the GOAT before LeBron James?
Kobe Bean Bryant.
And you're an idiot. Have a good night.
He was.
I can't believe you just said that.
You
How?
can hate on Kobe all you want to, but he was.
It's not hating.
Kobe's better than Jordan. Face it.
Oh,
For 2 straight years, Jordan's Bulls have fell to the Bird Celtics every time in the playoffs. That's what John said.
How can a Michael Jordan team get bounced out by another team? The GOAT. Please.
How did LeBron James team not make the playoffs?
When?
Last
Well,
year.
didn't they take him to the finals like 19 times?
Like
or
for
something
the
like
last
that?
5 years.
Well, last year he got hurt, but other than that, we've been in.
What about 2018?
Well, I don't care about 2018.
Well, you said how come? The stats are only relevant. when they're in funniest way.
Cool.
What about,
Freddie
what about 2003 and 2004?
Hey, he wasn't the best player in the game then.
Okay. Let me ask you a question real quick. When did Kobe Bryant win his first Finals MVP?
Was it 2006?
My point proven. They didn't even sniff a championship in 2006.
Hey, did you say MVP or championship?
Finals MVP.
Oh, 2010.
2009.
Grade 9.
Okay. That was the first time Kobe Bryant won a Finals MVP. Do you know how many Finals MVPs Michael Jordan has?
And you do realize that Kobe has been
How many Finals MVPs?
You
Michael
do
Jordan has?
realize that Kobe Bean Bryant was stolen from MVPs. You do understand that, right?
I completely agree with you. That's not what I
Okay,
asked.
then. So
I said Finals
I mean,
MVP.
he played with Shaq, bro.
So your point being is what? Who's a greater player of all time, Shaq or Pippen?
Because guess what?
Who's a greater player of all time,
If Shaq was on the team with Michael
Shaq.
Jordan, guess what?
Correct.
If Shaq would have won those, if Shaq was with MJ wasn't winning those Finals MVP. Shaq would have won it because he's the most dominant big man ever.
Guys, this has been a great episode of Cheap Seats. I am 90 minutes in and I'm finished. I have
Just
nothing
being
left.
honest.
Thank you so much for tuning in. That is Jordan Gene Lewis. That is the Prince of Production, Kyle Edwards. Dr. Freddie is on his meds tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Kyle, Jordan, send us off.
Shaq would have
Is this the end of the show? I mean,
It better be. I am confused at this point.
Like, I'm being honest.
Freddie says blasphemous comments and doesn't argue with logic. Like it's like talking to a wall.
So,
And I'm
Gene,
fed up. Like my voice is hurting.
Gene,
talking to a
isn't
wall.
Shaq the most dominant big man in the game?
That's not the point.
No,
Are
that
you
is the
saying
point.
that
I'm
Shaq
asking
is
you.
more dominant than Michael Jordan?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
You're absolutely crazy.
You can stop Michael Jordan. You can't stop Shaq.
Okay. You could stop Michael Jordan?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't stop Shaq.
Can't stop
I
Michael.
guess going against the greatest team of the 80s and the Celtics' great Pistons teams, that was stopping him. I got you. All right, Freddie. You're good.
I'm just saying, Shaq is the most dominant player we've ever seen. We've never seen nobody that's dominant as him.
to each and of his own, they both can be guarded. Because, yes, in the paint, no one can guard Shaq in the paint. No one can guard Jordan.
But who do you have a better chance guarding, Jordan? Shaq?
Huh?
Who do you have a better chance guarding, Shaq or MJ?
I mean, I'll probably be worried about Shaq running me over than Jordan, but yeah.
Exactly.
But Jordan was a rim slasher, so he could still dunk
All
on
we've
you.
established is Shaq was just a bigger body. That's it.
And he was more dominant than MJ.
I mean, Shaq would probably push all four on the panel in the post. Like, if you're lined up in a line, even with me and Freddie's big ass body, he would. Wait.
Time out. I'm not big, Jordan. What do you mean? Did Gene really need?
Did Gene just get off, man?
It's funny.
All right,
James, bro, get back on camera.
I think he lagged out, man. I think Gene lagged out.
I just can't. I can't anymore, bro. The Cheap Seats podcast has turned into blasphemy with Freddie.
This is my first time coming on in 6 weeks?
No,
6
you came on
weeks?
the last 2 weeks ago.
But didn't you say for some of
Last show I did. You came on.
No, I was not on 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
No, because you said the Daniel Jones stupid statement about.
Yeah,
that was not stupid.
It was 2 weeks ago.
That was not stupid. That's fact.
Get more yards than Lamar.
Yeah, Daniel Jones was going to rush for 1,400 yards, Freddie.
You know, for 30 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
I will say this: I might need to retweet that. Because I didn't think we were going to get. I didn't think we were going to get the 4th best tight end in football. I didn't think that was going to happen. So I might have to rethink
away from his rushing yards. Though.
Oh, I guess he left his wife in Vegas.
I actually appreciate that. He actually called Darren Waller the 4th best tight end in football. I thought he was going to say, I didn't think we'd get the best tight end in football and make up a statement about that. I appreciate him being honest about that.
It's Kelsey, Kittle, Mark Andrews. Then I put Waller there.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. That's logical. If you did that more often, I'd have no problem debating with you.
Gene, you always want to debate me, brother. Hey, let's start a show together. Gene and Freddie podcast.
I would do it. I would do it for an hour. I would only have to be an hour though. Only an hour. I can't deal with you more than an hour. At the hour point, I get fed up and I want to go to sleep.
I hate my work schedule.
Fred, do you have since Brian's not here, do you have a question for us to answer, or are we?
No, it's 8:36. I'm done. I'll hop off.
Why? Then Brian wasn't here
for a filler.
All right, Freddie. What would the question be? Let's hear this.
Who's winning in the NFL offseason? That I want to know.
Detroit Lions.
I do like what they're doing. Yes.
I would say Chicago Bears, but then the Detroit Lions did their due diligence. I would say the Cowboys. They got Stephon Gilmore and
the Cowboys losing the tight end today. That was a big loss for them. That was you traded for Brandon Cooks. And I was like, okay, they improving on offense, but you lost Schultz, who was a big part of that team. He was.
Their offense will be fine.
Yeah, the biggest question for them offensively will be is Prescott's turnover issues going to become part of his new norm, or will he revert back to the quarterback who took care of the football?
And then we got to see is Pollard really ready?
Who's the best cornerback duo in football?
Quarterback thrower?
Cornerback duo in football.
Right now?
Yep.
I'm trying to think of some duos.
I'm going to say Philadelphia.
Slay and Bradbury. That's correct.
I thought they did. Yeah, they re-signed both of them. Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you this. Like, everybody's so high on this Cowboys secondary. We have seen Diggs get burnt. Let's not act like we've never.
I won't say this. Diggs had a much better season this year than he did 2 years ago when he had all those interceptions. He played a lot more conservative and played the ball a lot less. I think that Diggs had a tremendous season at the cornerback position. I just think Philadelphia has number 2 and number 6 in corners in the league.
And then isn't Stephon Gilmore like 32, 33?
Like 58.
Yeah, so.
Stephon Gilmore's best days are far behind him.
Yep. His best days were the Patriots.
Thanks for yawning on the podcast, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Hey, man. I'm starting to get hungry and tired.
And then so my question is, would you have rather traded I've used the Cowboys? Would you rather trade it for a Jalen Ramsey?
Here's another bold statement I'm going to say, and people are going to think I'm crazy. Jalen Ramsey's cooked.
Well, I mean, I said that last year.
You didn't say it before I did. I said it in preseason when you were cursing me out for saying that Aaron Rodgers wasn't a top 10 quarterback, which I was right about.
And he's going to be top 10 this year. Just watch.
I agree with you. It's a projection.
How can you go back from last year and say he's not top 10?
It's a projections list for 1 year.
In the show, Kyle.
It's a projection list for 1 year.
Kyle, end the show.
He wasn't wrong.
I was right.
Yeah.
How can you go from a year ago say, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers won't be a top 10 quarterback"?
You don't understand what we do on our show. It's fine. You don't listen to it enough. What Wire to Wire does is a projections list for the current season. So we project what they're going to do in the current season. Aaron Rodgers, I said, would not be a top 10 quarterback this year. And he wasn't.
You know what, cool? I understand you just mad because I called you your Denver Nuggets team out. I mean, you just mad because Embiid coming for that MVP.
It's funny because if he's arguing with me, he's a Joker fan. But when he's arguing with Cool, he's an Embiid fan. He just chooses his arguments based on who the other one hates. That's funny.
You better hope we don't meet y'all in the playoffs because we're going to give y'all that work again. Just like we gave Jokic that work in the bubble.
Oh, you're talking about the Lakers and Nuggets. Nuggets and four.
I mean, Nuggets. Other than Jokic and Murray and then Porter,
and Michael Porter Jr. Yeah,
and Aaron
outside
Gordon.
of those three,
outside those four.
I mean, yeah, those four.
I really want to
trash players.
Out
of those four,
I really want to see them match up against us. I don't think they could beat us.
I'm worried about the depth for the Nuggets as far as the second.
No,
team.
they have depth. They have KCP, Bruce Brown. They have depth.
KCP. I mean, we had KCP. What the hell did he do for us, man?
Y'all were crying when he left.
KCP was a big part of our team, Jordan.
He was a good 3-point shooter. All right.
Don't in defense too, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
Y'all Laker fans are wild.
No,
you're right. Cool. He did help us on a rank. That's right. You're right.
I hated to lose KCP. I hated to lose Kuzma. But let's be honest. If we meet against Denver, Jokic ain't gonna want to see Anthony Davis. He ain't gonna want to see him. Just saying.
I hope it happens at this point. As much as we've talked about them, it has to happen. If they miss the play-in, this could be completely worthless.
I think the last couple, 3-4 games, going
to
be
be Gene,
crucial.
can I ask you a question, Brian? Be honest. Take your hate off. Take your trolling hat off. Be honest. You really think the Denver Nuggets can sweep us?
I think they'll win in 4 or 5 games. No hate. I don't like the Nuggets, bro. I say the Nuggets are frauds all the time.
So you talk about a team that don't play defense versus a team that do play defense.
What are you talking about?
Since after the All-Star break, we've been the 3rd best defensive team.
Because LeBron has been out.
But so we got to go by the standards.
LeBron doesn't play defense.
In the playoffs, he do.
No, he doesn't.
What?
He played defense in the bubble?
Oh. How long ago was that?
2019.
Like 2020.
And 3 months off.
He played defense.
Didn't every team have 3 months off in the bubble?
Everybody did. If the Celtics would have won,
we're talking about
if the Celtics would have won, we wouldn't hear nothing about that, Jordan.
You don't hear me with blasphemy.
I mean, you have Lil Will going to the Magic City. Players mess up in the bubble.
Lakers win 1 game. Y'all on some kind of winning streak. You lose 1 game. Don't hear nothing from y'all. I get it.
You hear Jonathan be so emotional in his feelings.
Where were the Celtics at in the bubble?
I thought this show was today. This is.
Can you end the show? Because I'm tired of
y'all
hate.
talking about 2019. Okay.
Can we end the show? I'm tired of this Gene hate.
Gene?
I'm tired of your hate, bro.
Why am I hating?
Because you really.
Am I not allowed to have an honest opinion?
No, Gene, it's just that you really sit up here and say the Nuggets can beat us. A team that plays no defense. A team that Jokic can't guard a phone book, bro.
So Freddie.
You just act like Anthony Davis is going to let Jokic do what he want to do.
Freddie, because you're so ignorant, I will read it to you for you. The Nuggets have 48 wins and 28 losses.
That's nice.
The Lakers have 35 wins and 37 losses.
That's nice.
They're only 2 games out of
13 games better than the Lakers are.
But guess what? You keep comparing them to the old roster. If this new roster played from the beginning, we will have about 40-something wins.
I think we had more wins than more wins in the first half with this new roster.
Yes, we would, bro. After we started the season, what killed us was the way we started the season.
We would have better 3-point shooting.
You know what killed us? You know what killed us? The start of the season. Us going 2-10. That's
Do you not realize that just 4 nights ago you guys lost to the worst team in basketball?
And,
we seen Kyle's team lose to them with their best players. Anthony Davis didn't even play. So what?
But they're gonna say, "Oh, they're in third." But if they lose,
it's 2 out of the last 3 games. One of them
Kyle, don't raise your hand.
Y'all fighting to be in a plane, and you want to compare a team that's top.
But it's okay for the top. But it's okay for the top 3 team in the East to lose.
Hey, you don't hear me talking about we're 2 games out of 6. That's been 3 months of that.
They all lost to the Jazz.
3 months. Y'all been 2 games out of 6 and haven't gotten there yet.
The season's not over yet, is it? Is the season over yet? Is the season over yet?
500 since last January.
Watch
y'all want to talk about the Celtics lost to Houston.
Watch. We about to go.
And lost to the Jazz too, man.
Hey, we got a prediction. I got a prediction. We going on.
You count now, Jordan. You counted the Rockets game as a win, and you lost that one.
Well, I did.
Well, yes. You were like, that's a W. Lost that one.
Well,
I got a prediction. I'm gonna hop off. The Lakers gonna win the next 5 games. Book it.
What do you want to put on it?
Not a chance they do. Don't they play? They play with the Thunder twice. They play
the Suns Wednesday.
Hey, and if that happens, Gene got to put up a LeBron James profile picture.
What happens if it doesn't happen?
You tell me.
Did you ever put up the Knicks one from you and Ty?
Probably not.
He never sent it to me.
Freddie's a Welcher.
He never sent it to me. I was waiting for him to send it.
They call him Freddie the Welcher.
Profile picture for the Knicks.
Hey, Gene, anything but Boston.
Okay.
Take care, y'all. I'm done. Y'all have a good one.
I'm out of here.
All right, everybody.
All right, y'all.